After only 3 days together, the Mai and Tano had worked to produce a new and improved translation. It was now time to check the draft by sharing it with the community. This would test to see if the changes produced a better translation. The team's excitement about their progress began to give way to anxiety as they prepared to share it with the community. While they believed it was a good translation, what would others say? Would others understand it? Would they like it? Would people use it? Would others agree that it sounds like us? The Mai reminded the team that this draft was the first of many steps to a strong translation. Sharing it allows them to humbly take suggestions and refinements, and ultimately be more confident in the quality of their work. The Tano each copied the new translation to their devices so that they could begin to share their work. Before they went out to share the new translation with friends and neighbors in the church and community, one of the Mai shared a story about Jesus. He sent his followers out in pairs to share the good news about the kingdom of God. The disciples had little experience sharing, yet their obedience had a powerful impact. This encouraged the Tano team, who felt they could follow this example. Some of the Tano team would share with the church, neighbors, or family members. Others planned to share with the children they cared for. And still others had made plans to gather friends together to listen and give feedback. What kind of questions should we ask to know if the translation needs further improvement? Our goal is quality translation that is trustworthy, easy to understand, appropriate, and sounds good to your people. A good way to test this is to ask the listeners to retell the passage after you have shared it with them. Listen carefully for misunderstandings. Make a note of anything they left out and any words they used that were different from the translation. Then share what you heard with the team to consider how to improve the translation. Later that day, the team gathered with the Mai for the evening meal and shared stories and feedback from the day. Many people had loved the new translation, yet some aspects were still unclear. The team considered the responses and felt they had not always used the best forms of a few words. They were able to determine that a few small changes suggested by the wider community might make the text easier to understand and more consistent with their use of the language. The Mai were encouraged by the Tano's willingness to receive and incorporate the feedback. They reminded the team to continue to work hard and use the resources available to them to check the suggestions. Changes that improve how the translation sounds to the Tano people must also maintain the trustworthy meaning. Once you have validated the feedback, the team should present the translation along with its updates to the elders. Together, you can affirm the translation. The improvements to the translation encouraged the team, but they were most excited by people's reactions to the meaning of the text. Jesus' control of the weather amazed some, and they were eager to hear more. One man heard the passage and could see that he lacked faith in Jesus. I am like the disciples who were struggling to believe. After hearing the translation, he prayed for forgiveness and eagerly asked to be baptized. Seeing the effect of the translation in the community, some in the church now realized how important it was that this work continue. They committed to faithfully praying for the team and began working on plans to ensure their work had the resources and support it needed to succeed. God was already answering the Tano's prayers that the word would strengthen their church and bring people to faith. They renewed their commitment to the translation work, but also to sharing it with others as soon as they finished each new portion. Their dinner and conversation stretched late into the evening as the Mai would be returning home the next day. They encouraged their new Tano friends to continue the progress that had been made and offered their ongoing support. By sharing the work openly, the translation of the passage was improved, the community was engaged, and the church was strengthened.